Hey guys, so just got back from seeing the movie San Andreas at the movie theaters. Um, this is a movie that I wasn't like dying to see, but there were two reasons that I wanted to see it. One being The Rock. I love The Rock, the actor The Rock, not the actual, The Rock. I know everybody says the movie says Dwayne Johnson, but he's always gonna be The Rock. I'm a huge wrestling fan. He's one of my all-time favorites, and he's a really talented actor who has done pretty well for himself outside of wrestling. I'm glad to see that, and I go support anything he does pretty much at this point. And Also, I'm a fan of disaster movies. I'm not gonna lie, they're my guilty pleasure of mine. They're pretty much all the same goddamn movies. Every one is about the goddamn same. They're almost indistinguishable half the time. Uh, Only thing that's distinguishable from each of one of them is usually maybe the locations. Even though we've seen just LA get destroyed a million goddamn times in movies nowadays. Um, and I, this movie looked just like every stereotypical, uh, uh, disaster movie from the trailers. And I even liked the trailer. I thought the trailer was effective. It sold me on it a little bit. It looked like like I said, it was just gonna be everything. I was like, fine, I can get behind it. It looks like it could be decent. The effects look fine, everything like that. I almost until I saw it otherwise, I almost thought it was being directed by Roland Emmerich. I was certain on that because it looked like a Roland Emmerich film. I mean, he's known for making disaster movies, but it wasn't. So the guy made Journey 2 or whatever of The Rock, Brad Payton, which is weird. But again, this is one of those movies that I was trying to keep it. I was going to keep an open mind with it going in, and also going into this movie, I need an escape from reality. I have a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I got a lot of stuff weighing in on my brain right now, and I need just 2 hours to kill to just escape from reality. And I figured, what other way to do that than watch California get destroyed? So it was like, screw it. This might be one of those movies where I'm seeing this at the right time because if I were to see this at a different time, I might hate this. And you know what? This movie is dumb as shit. It is. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is dumb as shit. But you know what? It was a lot of fun. It is so much fun. I wasn't bored one bit watching this thing. This movie doesn't really have any dull moments, like moments where things stop. Well, I mean, yeah, there are, but it's a lot of just. It isn't a character-driven film. If you're which is kind of funny. All the negative reviews I've seen of this movie have said, "Oh, the characters are all one-dimensional and they're not very good," stuff like that. This is a disaster movie, people. We know this going in. Disaster movies are not character-driven films. Only disaster movie that maybe came close was like Deep Impact. That's about it. Most of them are just a movie to just show how awesome their effects are, and this movie does that. It is well made. The effects do look really good. It don't look cartoony. None of like all the effects look really good in this film. I thought, and while I say the characters are not that great, and it's not a character-driven film, the acting isn't bad at all. It isn't. It isn't really a performance that annoyed the piss out of me. The Rock is The Rock. He's The Rock if he was a rescue firefighter. That's basically it. And he's perfect for this role. I mean, he does when he's required to act, he does a good job. He's not terrible or anything like that. The daughter in this movie is a girl that I've always seen in this, Texas Chainsaw 3D, and True Detective. And so, Alexandra Daddario, or whatever her name is. And this movie it seems most of it is just trying to show her cleavage. Which, if you've seen True Detective, you know she has a nice pair. That sounded horrible, but I'm sorry. If you've seen True Detective, you know what I'm talking about. Ooh-wee, man. Woo-hoo. Anyways, that sounded really perverted. I apologize. But she's fine. She was fine. I mean, again, this is like one of those movies. It's not. I can't bitch about the acting. It's retarded to do that. I do. One thing I will say about this movie is that one thing I liked about this movie that did differently from usual other disaster movies, that something I noticed was there's Ian, or that I forget. I'm not sure how to say his name. Ian Grofond or whatever. The guy who is playing the boyfriend of Carla Gugino, who's The Rock's ex-wife, or they're about to get divorced, and she's moved on to another guy, and Ian Grofond or whatever is the boyfriend. He's the smug as shit kind of guy, and usually with disaster movies they try to make him likable, and they try to make him, make you feel for him and actually like him. No, this movie does the exact opposite. He is a fucking asshole. He literally leaves the daughter by herself in like a wrecked car. That is great. And they don't just every time, after everybody leaves, you only see him a couple more times, and every time you see him, he's being a fucking asshole. And he does get his comeuppance. Although to the point, you almost forget this character even fucking exists, though. He does, I give him points, at least they didn't try to go the stereotypical route and try to make him likable and try to, at the same time, I'm sitting there like, dude, why would you date the ex-wife of The Rock? You're fucking scrawny ass shit. He could kill you with his pinky. Like a big black, half Samoan guy. Fuck that shit. No. What else? Oh, there's a lot of characters in this movie that are introduced very briefly. What I mean by that is that before I get into that, I guess I should talk about Paul Giamatti. I also want to talk about the wife. The wife was fine with her. Paul Giamatti is one of those actors. I'm going to say this again it's really not used to his potential, in my opinion. He's just there to spout cliched scientific dialogue that you hear in every disaster movie. He's the scientist that tries to warn everybody, even though he really does. They say that, but he really doesn't until after the earthquake hits. And it's like, they say, oh, he tried to warn everybody. I'm like, no, he didn't. I'm sitting there like, no, he didn't. But he's just... Alright, here's a good example of the cliche dialogue he has in this movie, alright? There's a scene that, I'm not joking, I'm going to go word for word. When he finds out that there's going to be another earthquake after the first one, and the guy goes, his assistant goes, who should we tell? And then you hear this loud, dramatic music, and he just pauses and goes, everyone. That I laughed out loud in the theater when it happened. How dramatically over the top that was. That was ridiculous. That was so fucking stupid. And that's not the only... That was one of the only two moments in the movie where I laughed out loud at how ridiculous it was. I'll talk about the last part in a minute. But Paul Giamatti is one of those guys. I'm going to say this like I said with Spider-Man 2. He's one of those guys that is in a movie, like a mainstream movie that's not used to his potential. He's a great fucking actor, man. Paul Giamatti is one of the best actors out there. How the fuck he hasn't won an Oscar yet or anything like that is beyond me. Don't even get me started on that. He's one of the greatest actors not to win an Oscar. Alright, let me go back to the characters that get introduced very briefly. What I mean by that is that there are characters in this movie that literally get introduced and then die 5 minutes later. Like they seem like they're gonna be essential to the plot, or like are gonna have a bigger role in this movie, and then they get killed in fucking 5 minutes later. Like, all right, here's the two greatest examples. Paul Giamatti has this Asian guy who's his assistant, or the guy who assists in his findings on earthquakes and stuff like that. And 5 minutes after he's introduced early on in the movie, he gets killed off. I am not fucking joking. They go to Hoover Dam, and I knew instantly he was gonna die. I mean, it's just like if you see a disaster movie, you knew he was gonna die. And honestly, Paul Giamatti doesn't really seem that devastated about it. Honestly, Paul Giamatti might have been sleepwalking in this thing. I don't know. Then also there's the like 10-20 minutes later, there's a scene where Carla Gugino is meeting Ian Griffin's sister, and it's the weirdest fucking scene. This scene was so weird because the sister is like just nonchalantly like, oh yeah, I heard your daughter was killed when she was drowned or something like that. And she's, Carla Gugino's looking at her like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bitch? They just met each other, like they're just like casually fighting. And then she just, like, you're sitting there like, okay, this is gonna be a plot device about the sister and stuff like that. No, she just fucking dies. Like 5 minutes later, again, 5 minutes later, she dies, and you're like, what was the point of these fucking characters being introduced? Like, what was the point? Like, I'm just sitting there like, all right, fuck it, why not? And it's also one of those movies where, of course, Rock and his family are fine, but there's millions of other people that die horrible deaths in this thing. Like every disaster movie, it's all focuses on one family, but there's destruction, death, and destruction all around them. Yeah. What else do I want to talk about on this thing? I think I'm forgetting something else. I don't know. Talk about the ending of this movie. I gotta talk about this. This is gonna get into spoilers. If you don't want to know what happens, but if you see a disaster movie, you know what's gonna happen. If you don't want to be spoiled, stop the video now. Whatever. All right. End of the movie resulted in one of the just groan-worthy fucking last lines ever put in a movie I've ever seen in my entire life. One of the most groan-worthy scenes I've ever seen in my entire life happened at the end of this movie. The Rock and his family are looking at the destruction of the Golden Gate Bridge. It's basically just half there, and it's just like just destroyed. And the camera zooms in, and there's this close-up shot of this American flag that just falls down and just flying gracefully by the Golden Gate Bridge. And as this was going on, Carla Gugino goes, what are we going to do now? Rock turns to her and looks at the American flag, and then looks at the American flag and goes, we're going to rebuild. Yeah. Not fucking joking. I laughed. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? We're using, like, just kind of like, trying to, like, get the 9/11, crowd to kind of, like, get choked up on that. That was so fucking cheesy. This movie was so cheesy. So dumb. It was so fucking dumb. Like, it fits this movie at this fucking point. And, like, that was so... I can't get mad at something like this. I can't. It's so fucking dumb. I just remembered there's something else I wanted to talk about today. Damn it. What was the other thing I wanted to talk... Oh! Apparently, I'm not 100% sure on this, but apparently, if you want to survive an earthquake and a tsunami in California, go to Caltech. Apparently, their building does not fucking get destroyed whatsoever. As Paul Giamatti, that's where Paul Giamatti and them are at, and literally they live. Their building is not even fucking destroyed. I don't think they're in San Francisco, but I'm pretty certain their fucking building would have been somewhat destroyed. Nope. Apparently the safest building to be in California during an earthquake or a tsunami. Apparently. And then they also talk about, he talks about how the East Coast is going to be affected. They really don't go anywhere with that. They just show, like, there's little tremors in Washington, D.C. at the end of the movie. And, where's, New York. And they're sitting there, like, and then, like, there's and fucking California is covered in a tsunami. I'm pretty goddamn certain something bad would have happened on the East Coast. I'm pretty goddamn certain on that. I would venture to guess that would have affected the East Coast a little bit more than just a little tremor. I'm not a scientist or anything. It's one of those things like I like this movie better than like something like 2012. Like there's a lot of moments like 2012. Like I want to compare this movie a lot to 2012 because it had a lot of similar plot elements. But 2012, like there was a lot of moments where I'm just sitting there like, I'm not a fucking scientist, but I'm pretty certain that can't fucking happen. Like there was not a lot of those in this movie. All right, and also somebody told me also is Paul. Do scientists are not be? This movie's trying to tell me the scientists are not able to predict earthquakes. Is that fucking true? Then I like, is that somebody in the comments? Go tell me. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that they can't predict earthquakes by now. Are you fucking kidding me? Like really? I don't know. That's one of those things I was kind of questioning at the end of the movie. Like, it really can't. There was a lot of stupid. Like I said, there also was just stupid. This movie is a lot of fun though. Like, I'm just kind of like, it sounds like I'm just being the most negative person, but I am recommending this just for. It's a popcorn movie. It's a movie that you literally do have to turn your brain off. It is. It really is. It's a lot of fun. I wasn't bored. It was dumb as hell, but it was still a lot of fun. I kind of recommend this movie. It's a guilty pleasure of a kind of a movie. I'm just kind of pointing out stuff that just that made me kind of like. It is well made. It is in 3D. I would say go see it in 3D. It looked pretty good in 3D. I thought the 3D was alright. It wasn't bad for 3D. It's like there's not many disaster movies in 3D. It sucks. So I think more disaster movies should be in 3D. It looked pretty cool in 3D. As far as trailers, wait a second. As far as trailers, I had. Point Break. Alright, before I get into that, I want to get on a rant here. This is about the movie theater I go to. Regal Cinemas up in Niles, Ohio, for anybody who lives by me. Every fucking time I go to see a 3D movie, the preceding thing happens. Put on the glasses, the 3D's fucked up. Usually I can tell before it goes into 3D mode when I put my glasses on during the 2D, and the 2D is fucked up. Every single fucking time I go see a 3D movie, this happens. I have to go out and I have to go tell the management, listen, the 3D is fucked up. Can you go fix that? Okay. To the point, last time it happened when I saw Avengers. Luckily, it didn't happen with Mad Max. That was the only time in when I saw it with the Avengers, it happened. And when I came out, the manager saw me and went, "Oh shit!" And she ran towards the movie theater. She knew instantly what I was going out there for. So I'm like, I've done this before. I'm like, I hate being a dick, like. But come on, like, that's amateur. Fucking damn it. You can't figure this out by now. This is like the 500th time this has happened. This is ridiculous. So because of that, I missed the beginning half of Point Break because I was trying to tell them that go fix the 3D. But Point Break, why are they remaking Point Break? I forgot they were remaking Point Break until a couple days ago when they said there was a trailer out. This looks stupid. Really, really fucking stupid. It's, if you took Point Break and took that concept and add in motocross bikers instead of surfers and shit like that, or whatever the fuck, it's retarded. It looks dumb. It doesn't even look. Who the fuck wanted a Point Break remake in the first place? That's my first question. And then, like, why? Just why? Why? Just why? And then I got Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials. I never saw the first Maze Runner. I heard some decent things about it. I gotta get around watching it. I have no. It's like, this is like with Insurgent. Like, I got the trailers for Insurgent. I have no idea what the fuck is going on in this movie. Like I said, apparently I maybe would have a better idea if I watched the first one. They're now in a desert for some reason. I don't know. Why? Why? Like, just, I don't know. Anyways, and then I got the last trailer I got, new trailer I got, was The Last Witch Hunter. Which, Vin Diesel's a witch hunter. That's all I got from that trailer. Literally, that's it. That's all I got. I don't know what, and Michael Keegan's in it. Okay, that's it. Like, what else did I get a trailer for? I got the Man from U.N.C.L.E. I got that trailer before with Kingsman. I'm like, that movie hasn't come out yet? What the fuck? I was like, I thought that movie would have been out by now. When the hell is that thing coming out? I don't know. And Man from U.N.C.L.E. I had that trailer. Then I got the Pixels trailer. I didn't know that was going to be in 3D until I saw the trailer in 3D. Alright. And the Point Break's going to be in 3D. Yay. But I didn't get that trailer in 3D. Which is always weird. Like, movies are going to be in 3D, released in 3D, but then you don't get the 3D trailer. I never get that. But anyways, I got the Star Wars 3D trailer. What do I see? Well, I saw Tomorrowland. I forgot to mention that. I did see the Star Wars trailer again. That was awesome. I could get that trailer for the rest of the year. I'd be fine with that. The movie, it might be better than the fucking movie. I don't know. Anyways, alright, I'm gonna get off here. I'm done talking. I've talked enough, I think. I'll be back next week. What's next week? Spy and Insidious Chapter 3. One of those two. Probably Spy, even though I hate Melissa McCarthy. And the only reason I say that is because I see that instead of Insidious is that I didn't see Insidious Chapter 2 because I hated Insidious Chapter 1. So I guess Spy is the only other fucking thing next week. Then the next week is fucking Jurassic World, so at least maybe we'll get something better there. But then, until then, talk to you guys later.